The rumors were true. For the first time in over 20 years, the definitive GBA remakes of the Kanto region Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green are finally making their way to the modern hardware. Today, Nintendo and the Pokemon Company confirmed that these classic titles launch on the Nintendo Switch eShop next week, but pre-orders are available as of earlier today. They're scheduled to go live on February 27, 2026, which is Pokemon Day, and there's also Pokemon Presents that day. Immediately following the Pokemon Presents showcase, which is at 6 a.m. PST or 9 a.m. EST, you will be able to download and fully play these games. Now, these games are not part of Nintendo Switch Online and the Expansion Pass. You have to buy them separately. They cost $19.99 in the US for each copy of the game. But this is very important, guys. You have to make sure that you buy the correct language that you want to play in. Because if you don't, you'll have to go through Nintendo's customer service and get a refund. Because the games themselves do not have a way to change the game in-game language. So when you go to Nintendo's website here on the Fire Red version, you can see that in the corner here it says English only, and you want to make sure that it's in the language you want. Also see for America region there's French and Spanish, so you really have to make sure that you want to get the correct version for yourself. Now, this runs on both the Switch 1 and the Switch 2. Okay? Now, these are faithful ports of the 2004 originals, but there are some modern differences. So you can still trade and battle, but it is not online. It's only locally. So you cannot play these games online whatsoever. Nintendo came out and say that you cannot. Now, this is up for debate here. As you can see on CLB's Twitter, you can see originally they did tweet that Pokemon Home will come for this game. But then, as you see later on, they tweeted again that it was delisted from Pokemon Home connectivity, have been removed from the listing. So we don't know for sure if they're going to have it. I would assume they would, but we don't know for sure. So yeah, I'm just going to go through frequently asked questions on Nintendo's website. So, first question is, are these original versions of the games, have they been enhanced or modified in any way? Some specifications may differ, but broadly speaking, the contents of Fire Red and Leaf Green are the same as the original release. Due to differences in hardware, the following features will operate differently. Whether the game's connectivity features require the Game Boy Advance Game Link cable or the Game Boy Advance wireless adapter on the Game Boy Advance system, those features can now be enjoyed on the Switch 2 and the Switch via local wireless connection. As with games played on Nintendo Switch 2 in general, Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green can be enjoyed while using the game chat feature. Is Nintendo Switch Online membership required to purchase or play these games? No, a Nintendo Switch Online membership is not needed to purchase any of these games. Because, guys, this is not on NSO. I kind of wish it was. I also kind of don't. That means I own it forever. I don't have to keep paying a subscription. But at the same time, I guess it kind of would have been nice to be on NSO, but it's fine. Will it be possible to trade or battle Pokemon with other players? How will it work? All of the game's original connectivity features will work just as they did on the Game Boy, via local wireless connection. It will be possible to connect to 4 other players in the Pokemon Wireless Club, located on the second floor of the Pokemon Center. Players can access the Union Rooms to trade, battle, or play a minigame. Again, guys, online play is not supported, so it's only local. Will these games also be coming to Game Boy Advance, the Nintendo Classics Collection? These games are being offered as a standalone software and not planned for release as part of the Game Boy Advance or the Nintendo Classics Collection. So, yeah, it's just so. I guess any game or games that Nintendo is going to release this year, I have a speculation that we hopefully get Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. That'd be pretty good. I don't quote me on that. That's just my personal wish list. But if we do get those 3 games as well, it's gonna be standalone titles, just like Fire Green. Why are you handling these and classic games differently? In celebration of 30 years of Pokemon, we thought it'd be fun to attend the ultimate versions of original Pokemon adventures in the Kanto region with these special releases. If these titles are meant to celebrate 30 years of Pokemon, why aren't you releasing the original Pokemon Red, Blue, and I guess Yellow would be included, which also, well, I guess it didn't launch 30 years ago. We would have thought that users would appreciate alternate versions of the original adventures, which add various features and upgrades to the contents of Pokemon Red and Blue. This is true. Fire Red and Leaf Green is like the best way to play through Kanto. Let's Go is not really a factor because of how much stuff they changed, no abilities, you can't battle wild Pokemon. It's just different. They're good games. You just can't. It's not the same. Will you add original Pokemon Red version, Blue version, or other Pokemon games in Nintendo Classic Collection available with Nintendo Switch Online? The following Pokemon games is currently part of the Game Boy Nintendo Classics Collection, available on Nintendo Switch Online membership. Pokemon Training Card Game. In addition, the following Pokemon games can be enjoyed with Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pack membership. So you got the Game Boy Advance games, which is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon and Rescue Team. And for the Nintendo 64, you get Pokemon Puzzle League, Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Stadium, and Pokemon Stadium 2. And they have nothing to announce regarding any of the potential titles. But there'll probably be more, I'm guessing, in next week's presentation, obviously. Well, I should say obviously, I hope. What about other classic games beyond Pokemon titles? Is this the return of standalone virtual console types of offerings? So, if you're around a decade ago for the 20th, they released Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, and Crystal, all as virtual consoles on a 2DS and 3DS. And you could, I think, if I recall, you could have pushed them all as packs or individually. So that's what it is talking about here, but I have a feeling it's just going to be standalone titles. So I guess it's kind of virtual, not really. I'll just read what it says here. We remain focused on offering classic games through Nintendo Switch Online and Nintendo Switch expansion pack. But I don't think any like mainline Pokemon games is going to be coming here. It's just going to be like Mystery Dungeons and other side games. While different versions of the game being released for each language, shouldn't all language be selectable within a single version as with other games? The games remain unchanged from the original release on the Game Boy Advance, as was often the case in that era. Different versions of the games needed to be created for each supported language. In total, there are 3 different language versions for each game available in the Americas: English, European, French, and European Spanish. These are all the same language versions that were often the game's original release on the Game Boy Advance. We encourage people to verify the language of the game before completing purchase. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. Just make sure you buy the right language you want for the game if you're going to buy these games. Now, what if someone accidentally pushes a version with the wrong language? We encourage people to verify the language of the game before completing the purchase. Yeah. So, just make sure. Well, can I purchase these games? Will there be physical versions? Fire Red and Leaf Green versions will be available as digital software in Nintendo eShop. They will not have any physical release. So it's a little bit disappointing there's no physical copy of these versions, but at least we're still getting them on the eShop, which is better than nothing. And we haven't been able to play these games since the DS without other ways, if you know what I mean. Now for the last question is, will the games receive any enhancements when played on the Switch 2? There are no major differences in how the game performs on the Switch 2 and the Switch. But as the games put on the Switch 2 in general, Fire Red and Leaf Green can be enjoyed while using the game chat feature. So you can still use game chat playing these games on the Switch too, but there's nothing really exclusive. It's gonna play the same way whether you buy it on the Switch or Switch 2. So, whether you're a veteran returning to Kanto or newcomer wanting to see where it all began, Kanto is back, and next Friday we will be able to play them. Are you gonna pick them up? I personally picked up Leaf Green for myself and might have a playthrough on my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and the news you got today. Let me know in the comments if you excited for these games and the upcoming Pokemon Presents for the 30th anniversary. I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys later.